the formulation, when it comes to the informal cross-border trade space. If you take a look at this graph up here, it tells you that 74% of people who operate are women. 74%, that's huge. Now, women have the highest rates of transactions in terms of number. They do more transactions than men. Even though the men usually trade in higher their rates there, when they do transactions, the amounts are quite large, and it's evident right here. On the average, a transaction by a woman is $123, and that of a man is $438. However, because of the volume, women, and this is an exercise we did a couple of years ago, have over 16 million. And look at that of men. Now let's take a look at our corridors, some of our corridors, when we trade informal. It is evident that between Burkina Faso and Ghana, men are 65% in terms of ICT trade. But when it comes to Benin and Nigeria, men come down to only 24. The rest are women. Indeed, even Benin and Togo, it is so insignificant that when you apply the de minimis principle, you cannot even record it here. That tells you how involved our women are in this. Now, what do they really trade? And if you look at it right here, women trade when it comes to food items. They are the largest. And so they are very key when it comes to food security and even economic resilience. They are very key. And as a region, based on this survey, what we're mainly trading in terms of products, rice, sugar, soda, and things like that. So this tells you that women's participation is key. Now, to support the operationalization and effective leveraging of the informal sector, to spur and increase intra-regional trade, and to harness the potential area, in 2012, Ecowas adopted what we call the Informal Trade Regularization Support Program. It has 4 different components to it. And all these have got gender issues front and center. In the interest of time, let me take a look at some of the export readiness trainings that we provide in our movement at the Commission level.
No, this one is just a network.
We've collaborated with the UN.
We've logged in already.
We've collaborated
We've logged in
with
the YouTube channel.
to provide various forms of capacity building for our women.
Yes.
Indeed, in the area of export readiness, we've even gone to the extent of helping them make sure that they meet standards and they have the requirements that they need to enter the market. Another initiative I cannot forget to list is that between Ecowas and Ecowas, where also more than 50 women were trained to make sure that they're able to trade effectively. Things were achieved, including a total of about 21 SMEs trained, with 10% of them being women, trained in ICT, over 41 SMEs trained in ICT. And even recently, we are collaborating with GIA to train women on market access tools so that they can leverage them to expand their businesses across our region. President Speaker, permit me to conclude by saying that women and youth are so vital and integral when it comes to ensuring that international trade increases, to ensure that there is resilience in our various economies, that our integration is deepened, and that we can really say that yes, we have inclusivity as we trade along our borders, across our borders. It is so vital that we need to make deliberate efforts to include issues about women and youth in everything that we do. And we are grateful to the House for showing interest in this issue concerning our women and youth and how they benefit anti-trade across our region and also from the African continental region. With your kind permission, I yield. Thank you so much.
Merci, Monsieur Bensa, pour votre bref et concis exposé. Vous avez mis en lumière un paradoxe majeur. La liste des interventions est ouverte. Chaque orateur devra observer 4 minutes de parole. Monsieur le directeur.
Morning, distinguished members of the House Parliament. The Speaker has directed me to confirm the names that have been taken down. I have on the list Honorable Nadia J, Honorable Ladi Ayamba, Honorable Kwame Antwi, Honorable Seko Dure, Honorable Fanta Ponte, Honorable G. Marios, Honorable Veronica, Honorable Sherif Saad, Honorable Fatima King, Honorable Kone, Honorable Rosa, and Honorable Yakinja and Jamelia.
Honorable Attendé.
Thank you very much for that, Speaker. Thank you, my colleagues. Thank you, the presenter. Our presenter, when we sit around like this, we listen to one thing that is never scarce is action plans, work plans, strategies. They are never scarce in the subject. And now we want to move beyond what we know to what we don't know. What are the alternatives? What are the striking differences in what you want to do to guarantee that somebody is trading from Nigeria probably to Congo, where you cannot move freely within this corridor. What exactly are we going to be trading with? And you just mentioned that the women are going to be trading the food stuff. Maybe garlic, cassava, and sugar. Is that what we'll be trading with Kenya? I expect that we should major in the things that will really transform the economies of these sub-regions, and not these very minor things that just presented to us. Look at the statistics, it's not encouraging. The challenges are there. How are you going to solve these challenges at home before you go dancing in the public? These are the things I expect. Thank you very much.
Merci, chers collègues. Honorable Lati,
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And let me thank the presenter for the elaborate work that Madam Speaker, listening to him carefully, to be honest, I want to say that just like my colleague Abianti said, it's like moving from the known to the unknown. And when I say moving from the known to the unknown, it looks like all the statistics we have presented based on those big time trading of businesses, leaving our women who will actually stand for those in the market. If we leave them behind, I'm wondering how many women have that big money. For lack of a better word, let's use that big money or capital to do that business that he is looking at. There is a lot to be done. Interestingly, as I looked at that, I realized that under this presentation of ITC, SHE, you realize that between 150 women across 5 countries, Benin, Nigeria, Niger, Nigeria, and Togo. 150 women. For God's sake, let us ask ourselves, these 150 women, whom are they intending to trade? Where are they going to trade them? On what? And have you provided them the resources? And if I say resources, I'm not talking of money, the way forward, for them to be able to trade and but then, let us not forget that we also need the grassroots, the women to know that this is how far they come. While we are talking about this, the bottom is, as even we spoke about yesterday, movement. It's not only the transportation, but the transportation is like imagine someone who goes to Ghana and getting into Ghana 3 days after she has left, or Cote d'Ivoire, my popular place where I have gone to listen to, going to Ghana and using 3 days on the way, and it's a woman, no infrastructure, no bad routes. And when we went to Cote d'Ivoire, we listened to a group of women who are involved in share battle trading, and they mentioned how they struggled on the way, how they actually suffer and the amount they have to pay. Have those documents been looked at? It's not a matter of training women, it's a matter of making sure that the job is actually done, so that we don't leave those who we represent here behind. Our greatest problem is that we are not taking care of the grassroots properly. We are looking at those in the middle or those at the topmost who are just like a few. How many women for God's sake have big capitals that you want them to invest? So we need to look at such issues very carefully and consciously. I heard him talk about the percentages when we all know that the women are actually very well in trade. When I look at it, I was like, oh, Ghana is not using that. Is that not interesting? I don't know how that was picked. The illiterates, excuse my language, the illiterates are more than the literates in those who do the trade. And so we need to go down the women on the ground so that we give them that education, give them that support. The money or the support that are going to give it to the youth and the women shouldn't be like looking for millions. There are women there who do not need those millions. They need just
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, my question, I'll pick it up from what
You're not hearing this people here. I'm hearing it.
And the Speaker has given us very nice statistics. However, I see the data as talking about what is existing in our community at this time. I would want to find out from him, is there any way this data is going to assist us to make future decisions? For instance, focuses on women. How are the women within the community able to improve upon this data for others to also get involved? There are other things that, for instance, rice, high sugar, and whatnot. What about other things like leather and whatnot? Studies being done. What are the opportunities? Because we are talking about CMTA, and we are talking about the whole of Africa. What opportunities exist in other areas aside our community that we as Ecowas can tap into? I'm grateful if this studies have been done. Even though women are high, it looks like the concentration is on women. What about men? What are the opportunities that exist for men and in general the other people within the Ecowas community, so far as the African community is concerned? Thank you very much.
You get my point. It moves people. Bring the two of them into one hub. That hub is from that hub.
Okay, link to this guy. The two of them linking each other
To one hub. I bring small router. Power the router there. That's what they need. They want a small router.
That's
Connect it to the power, to the router. That is information. That's why we have to put the action. I believe in the work. But not from the I'm agreeing with that. It's just that, like I say, it can be pop, it can be pop, they can complement each other. If this one gets small, this one will continue.
and I hate mistake.
Even then, when they work on a whole shot, clear mistake of it. The market, really try to do that kind of time. Once you bring this, I'm going to seriously more contracts here. This is not joking. See, no more read that before again. You know, people and like I said, the part of it is that even when you're not listening. Yes. But like you don't have it, whatever I feel like I did. I think the rest is open. They don't pick up because the other guy has one. I bring this one from here now, but you come out from here. Okay, how one you have?
I give you your own.
Does he have earpiece?
Yes, I think I don't put
Merci beaucoup, Madame la Présidente, pour la parole et l'explication des présentateurs de la
CMS will still be.
Madame la Présidente, la réussite de la politique de l'échange continental africaine ne se mesurera pas uniquement au volume de l'échange, mais à sa capacité à transformer la vie des femmes, des jeunes et des acteurs du commerce transfrontalier informel. Madame la Présidente, les femmes et le moteur principal du commerce africain. Mais malheureusement, cette couche, comme on l'a vu dans la présentation, reste confrontée à des obstacles structurels qui limitent leur participation aux opportunités offertes par la déléguée. Je ne vais pas revenir sur ces obstacles parce que le présentateur est largement revenu sur les difficultés que les jeunes et les femmes rencontrent dans le cadre du commerce transfrontalier. Madame la Présidente, aujourd'hui, il est important de libérer le potentiel de ces jeunes et des femmes qui sont dans le commerce informel, car libérer leur potentiel, c'est investir dans l'avenir économique et social de notre continent. Une ZLECAf inclusive est une ZLECAf qui garantit l'accès à l'information, au financement, à la formation et à la protection sociale pour les femmes, les jeunes et les petits commerçants dans nos différents États. Nous avons aujourd'hui, en tant que parlementaires, la responsabilité, avec les États membres, bien sûr, de la ZLECAf, d'adopter des cadres juridiques, de simplifier les procédures et de lever les obstacles administratifs qui freinent donc l'accès des jeunes et des femmes au marché africain. Je sais qu'il y a eu beaucoup d'efforts qui ont été réalisés, on l'a vu dans la présentation, il y a eu des formations, il y a eu des mécanismes qui ont été mis en place pour faciliter donc le commerce continental et l'accès des femmes et des jeunes à ce marché. Mais j'aimerais quand même faire quelques recommandations pour nous permettre d'atteindre les résultats escomptés. En termes de recommandations, donc, Madame la Présidente, chers collègues, je propose l'harmonisation des cadres juridiques et réglementaires pour aligner les législations nationales sur les engagements de la DLECAF. Simplifier les règles applicables et adapter au commerce informel. Multiplier, parce qu'il y a eu beaucoup de formations. Quand on regarde dans le document, il y a eu assez de formations. Mais je pense qu'il faut multiplier encore des programmes de formation ciblés pour les femmes et conjugaler les règles de la ZLECAf dans les langues accessibles, parce qu'il est important que dans nos États, tous les jeunes et les femmes comprennent les mécanismes et le fonctionnement de la ZLECAf pour pouvoir bénéficier des opportunités offertes par cette zone continentale. Mettre en place également des mécanismes de financement adaptés, j'allais dire, et lutter contre abus et violences dont nos femmes et nos jeunes sont victimes le long de nos frontières. Je voudrais terminer par cette question, Madame la Présidente. Je voudrais savoir quels sont les mécanismes mis en place pour assurer la sécurité de ces millions de femmes africaines qui font la navette entre nos différents États dans le cadre du commerce et qui sont confrontées à des risques sécuritaires. Je vous remercie, Madame la Présidente.
Merci, chers collègues. La parole est à l'honorable Marie-Sonia.
Merci beaucoup, Madame la Présidente du Parlement de la CEDEAO, chers collègues. Bonjour. Moi, honnêtement, je n'ai pas envie de saluer le travail qui a été présenté. Moi aussi, pour faire gentil, joli. Merci pour la qualité du travail. Et après, tout le monde fait des critiques. Mais pour la qualité du travail, si après, il y a une tonne de critiques qui sont formulées, moi, ça fait 3 jours qu'on parle de ZLECAf. Aujourd'hui, on parle de ZLECAf appliqué aux jeunes et aux femmes. C'est de ça dont on parle. On ne parle pas des jeunes et des femmes. On parle de la ZLECAf et de ce qui va se passer pour nos jeunes et pour nos femmes. Ça fait 3 jours qu'on est là. Il y a quelque chose qui est absent du débat. Quelle est la situation de référence? Quelle est la situation aujourd'hui en Afrique de l'Ouest. Je vais vous donner quelques chiffres.